Welcome back to Movement Project. If you have knee pain, then the couch stretch for your quads and hip flexors might be just what you need. Watch this video and I'll go over specifics of how long you need to hold a stretch, as well as many different tweaks to help you target different parts of the muscle. If this is a new exercise for you, I recommend just placing a pillow down on the floor to start, and then you just want to try to get your knee ready to go on the pillow with your foot up on your couch here. Okay, and then you start off, there should be very little tension anywhere with your opposite foot out in front of you. Try to position this foot so it's directly behind your knee and your thigh and in line with your butt. And then from there, you're just going to start off by bringing your butt back to your heel. All right, from there, you should begin to feel a pretty good stretch in the lower part of the thigh. If not, you can lean back with your trunk until you get your desired stretch. The intensity of your stretch will have a lot to do with your experience stretching. If you're new, I would recommend just being about a 3 intensity on a 0 to 10 scale, and then slowly building up your hold times. Once you've tolerated that portion of the stretch, then we want to move the stretch to the upper part of the thigh, upper part of the quad, and leaning forward. Now the heel and butt separate, but this front part of your hip starts to go forward to the ground. You're gonna feel that stretch move away from the knee into the upper part of the thigh. When it comes to the couch stretch for knee pain, one of the things that's effective about it is you're taking the quadricep muscle, or one of the quadricep muscles specifically, the rectus femoris, this muscle that runs from our hip down over the kneecap into the shin, and you lengthen it at both directions. So you're taking the knee and you're bending it maximally, and then you're bringing your hip back into extension. So you're able to take that muscle and stretch it across both joints. One way we can tweak this stretch to focus it on different parts of the muscle is get into that stretch position, and then from there, bend yourself to the side one way, bend yourself to the side slightly the other way, and you'll feel a pretty significant difference based on where you're restricted. When I turn this way, I feel this lateral part of my quad and even a little bit into the IT band on the outside of the thigh. I really get a stretch that I don't feel at all when I'm straight on. So it's really important that you're focusing on both sides of that muscle. With that slight little tweak makes a big difference. Now, one thing we would never want to see when you do this exercise is your foot where it's kind of dorsiflexed like that, where you have your toes up, because then you're changing the position of your knee and you're just compressing your kneecap right into the groove below it. When your foot is pointed, that kneecap can sort of slide out of the way a bit, and you can tolerate the kneeling position much more. If you have any difficulty at all tolerating the position, whether you're on a carpet or a hardwood floor, just pop a pillow under your knee and there'll be no impact to the benefit that you get on the stretch. And that should lessen a lot of your discomfort while still giving you the stretch that you need to get relief of your knee pain. Studies have found benefits and improvements in range of motion with as little as 5 minutes total per week of stretching time. So the key is the consistency. If you spend 1 minute 5 days a week or 2 minutes 3 days a week, that consistency is going to get you the improvements in your range of motion. Your tolerance for the stretching position will determine how long you start off with the stretching program. I recommend beginning with 30 seconds and doing 2 sets, building up to 3 sets over the course of a week. From there, you can try to increase your hold times to 60 seconds per set, trying to build up to 2 sets per day, multiple times per week. From there, you can try to increase your hold time to 90 seconds per set, 2 sets, multiple times per week. You should never be producing any pain in your knee when you're doing a stretch like this. You want to make sure that whatever discomfort you feel, whether it's in your thigh or in the lower part of your quad muscles, that it goes away as soon as you stop the stretch. Within a few seconds, you feel like that discomfort is gone, and that's an indicator that it was just a stretching sensation. If you have knee pain that lasts after the stretch, clearly you were doing it too intensely and you need to back off and decrease your hold times for your stretch. Once you can tolerate 90 seconds, move up to the last stage, which would be a 2-minute hold time, starting off with 1 set per leg twice a week. If that's really well tolerated, you can try to progress to 2 sets in a day, twice per week. To make this a little more dynamic and challenging, you can place an exercise ball below the foot. And now we're incorporating our balance because I have to stabilize on my front leg and I'm moving that back knee side to side. This is much more advanced, so make sure you're able to progress yourself all the way through the program I just mentioned, up to 2 minutes, 2 sets, twice a week. The most advanced version is where you maximally point your foot against the wall. You're gonna wanna do this in a barefoot, and then you're trying to bring your butt back to your heel in that position and then trying to see if you can get your shoulders back against the wall. This is gonna be a pretty massive stretch through the entire quad. Requires a lot of ankle mobility, and you definitely want to make sure you can get through the entire stages as previously mentioned before you move to this most advanced stage of the stretch. To watch another video focused on how movement is the main driver of pain, click down here. To subscribe to my channel and help me cut out unnecessary surgeries and opiate use, click over here. Remember, if you want to keep improving, you got to keep it moving.